Okay, we'll call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Monday, August 19th, 2019. I'd ask that you please rise for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, as we roll toward the end of the summer season, we are very thankful for the many blessings that have been showered upon the community of Batavia this year. We especially like the sense of community that has been brought together because of all the activities and accesses to various things that can now be done in the central business district, especially along the Fox River. We are also appreciative of all the great planning that has been put in by past city councils and mayors and folks that really cared about our town and showed their love for it and their decisions. And we are ever mindful that as Batavians, we are all here to do what is in the best interest not only for today, but for tomorrow. Tonight, as always, we want to remember those from our country who are serving in the defense of the liberties of the United States of America on foreign soil, and we just ask that a special blessing be showered upon them. We also ask for a special blessing from all those in our community who are sick and infirmed, and ask that they be restored to good health. We also ask for direction and guidance and vision and understanding as we act upon the items of business before us. As I've said many times, knowing that in our hearts and mind, each member of the council is here to do what they feel is in the best interest of our community. We ask that these spirits roll along with us through this meeting and that Batavia become, at the end of the day, a greater and grander and brighter community for us all to live and to hand off to future generations. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. Alderman Knopp, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Miller.
Here.
Rosado.
Here.
Beck. Here. Knopp.
Here.
Chansett. Wolf.
Here.
Salvetti.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here.
Callahan.
Here.
Meitzler.
Here.
Malay.
Here.
Ewer.
Here.
Cerrone.
Here.
McFadden.
Okay, let the record reflect that we have 12 of the 14 elected members of the city council present and accounted for, and the two who are absent had both contacted my office and indicated that they were going to be absent this evening because of various activities they're involved with. So with that, we'll go to 4, which is the annual or the regular reminder that we ask if anybody's going to speak to us tonight, because this is televised and on TV, that they come forward and use the microphone at the podium. And we also ask that the members of the city council tonight, if you're going to speak, that you also use the microphone so that it's clearly heard by the TV or audience or the tapes being recorded. Okay, moving to item number 5, which are items to be removed, added, or changed on the agenda. And so we have both the chairman and vice chairman of governmental services absent from the meeting, so I've asked Alderman Salvati to handle these duties.
Junior Varsity's got it. We do have one change under the consent agenda, under approvals for F, the resolution 19-093-R. Under B, the city council executive session minutes should reflect July 16, 2018 and October 15, 2018.
So noted. So I guess then I would ask you to present the consent agenda.
The consent agenda reads as follows: to accept and place on file Historic Preservation Commission minutes for June 24th, 2019, the Committee of the Whole minutes for July 30th, 2019, and building reports July 2019. Under approvals, we have the August 9th, 2019 payroll in the amount of $934,513.92. The accounts payable check register for $3,270,593.19. City Council minutes for August 5th, 2019. The approval of the 2019 executive session minutes for July 23rd, 2019. Resolution 19-093-R, the release of executive session minutes for the Committee of the Whole, May 15th, 2019, and June 26th, 2018. I'm sorry, May 15th, 2018, and June 26th, 2018. And the City Council minutes for July 16th, 2018, and October 15th, 2018. We have an approval for the Class D1 liquor license application for the Oak and Swine Restaurant. We have an approval for the Class G liquor license for Gammon Coach House, Pal Joey's River's Edge Bar and Grill, Fernando Street Kitchen, and the Wilson Street Tavern for the 2019 Batavia Main Street Downtown Block Party. We have Resolution 19-091-R, authorizing the execution of a contract with Denler Incorporated for the 2019 crack filling program. And then finally, we have the Resolution 19-094-R, rejecting the bid by Utility Dynamics Corporation to construct new feeder line for the Northeast Distribution Substation and rebid the project. If there's any questions on this, I will make the motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second. Motion by Alderman Vadi, second by Alderman Metzler. For the approval of the consent agenda as presented. Any questions or comments? Clerk, call the roll.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck. Aye. Knopp.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved, 12 yes, no no's, 2 absent. Okay, moving to 7, matters from the public for items not on the agenda. Does anybody in the public want to address us for something not on the agenda? All right. So now we have some nice things to do. The first thing I'd like to do is call up newly appointed, promoted Sergeant Chris Potoff. If you'd come join me at the microphone. And Chief Alton-Reith, you want to make some remarks?
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Chris Potoff is here for oath of office. He was selected by the Batavia Fire and Police Commissioners to fill a vacancy within the police sergeant's ranks, which recently created by the retirement of Watch Commander Tim O'Brien. Sergeant Potoff's promotion was effective August 7th of 19. Chris joined Batavia Police Department August 11th of 08 after serving previously with Palos Hills Police Department. Chris has served in a variety of roles during his tenure with the police department, including patrol officer, school resource officer, and most recently, officer in charge. He's also held for several years elected officer for the Fraternal Order of Police, the Patrol Officers Union. Chris has received numerous letters of recognition throughout his career, and in 2016 was a recipient of the Fred Boehner Chiefs Award for his activities in support of the FOP's annual Shop with a Cop holiday event. Chris just hit 11 years of service with our department on August 11th, and we welcome and congratulate him on his new position as sergeant for evening shift.
Chris, I'd ask you if you'd join me up there in the center of the room so we have to get you on TV. So before I administer the oath of office, I'd just like to say on behalf of the City Council and myself, congratulations. You've been a model officer during the time you've been with us. And I always have this favorite story to tell about you. When you got appointed here in 2008, the mayor in the town that you were coming from, he and I have kind of a unique relationship in that he was elected mayor of that town the same day I was elected mayor of this town. And so he's one of the officers in the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, and I'm the other one. So we get to talk quite often. And so when you took the job here in Batavia, he says to me, you know, you just stole a good one from me. He says, but he does ask a lot of questions. So with that, I will, maybe you can join me up here closely. We can both get on the microphone.
Yes.
I, Chris Potoff,
I, Chris Potoff,
having been appointed
having been appointed
to the position of sergeant
to the position of sergeant
on August 7th, 2019,
on August 7th, 2019,
with the Batavia Police Department
with the Batavia Police Department
in the city of Batavia,
in the city of Batavia,
in the counties of Kane and DuPage,
in the counties of Kane and DuPage,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of sergeant to the best of my ability.
of sergeant to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
All right. Our big one for tonight is Watch Commander Tim O'Brien, retired. Brief overview. Tim began his career August 3rd of 90 with Batavia Police Department. He's also a Batavia High School graduate. Right, Ellen?
Yes.
During the course of his law enforcement career, Tim has served numerous times in the department's Patrol Division and Investigations Unit. Tim rose through the ranks of the department, eventually serving in each leadership capacity within the Patrol Division, Officer in Charge, Sergeant in 2014, and Watch Commander 2017. Tim has received numerous letters of recognition and commendation throughout his career. Received a life-saving award 2017 for his actions saving a heroin overdose victim. Tim's also received Batavia Officer of the Year in 2002. Tim served many years as department's range officer and field training and evaluation coordinator for our new probationary officers. Tim retired as watch commander on day shift, effective August 3rd, after 29 years of service. To Batavia Police Department and citizens of Batavia. Congratulations, Tim.
Well, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Batavia, it's my esteemed honor to be able to present Tim with this plaque from the city. And before I give it to you, I just want to make the comment that when you're the mayor, you get people making comments to you all the time about a variety of subjects, and the police department very often is one of the subjects that gets comments. And so I've heard a lot of comments over the years from a lot of people about a lot of things. And I've heard some comments about you, and every one of them has always been very positive and very good, and about how you are so community-orientated and how you show your love for this town and the things that you do and the actions you took. And so you really have been a model of police administration for us, and one who has reached out and really shown Batavia that you can be born and raised here and come back and really stay to be part of the community and really be a high contributor to the life of our town. And in your case, you certainly have made it safer and more friendly, and a place that a lot of people are very proud to call their home. So because of all that, I'm very pleased tonight to present you with the following plaque, which says, City of Batavia, Timothy M. O'Brien, Watch Commander, in appreciation of 29 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Batavia and the Police Department, from August 3rd, 1990 to August 2nd, 2019, signed by myself as the mayor. So I'll give you this. You want to make a comment? No.
Thank you very much.
If nothing else, I'll give you the box and the bag. So again, thank you, Tim, for all you did.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Great record.
Thank you.
Okay, moving to item number 10, which is a Main Street report. Do we have a Main Street report tonight?
I don't see any.
Well, we got some people out there that are associated, but we'll wait for another night. We'll get another report.
Got anything, Bob?
Oh, I'm not putting anybody on the spot. All right, moving to 11, which is Resolution 19-090R, awarding a grant under the Gateway Improvement Program for Funway. Chris Ashton?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. You'll recall a couple weeks back, the committee of the whole recommended to the council approval of this grant worth about $11,900 for improvements at Funway Entertainment, which include a facade improvement, 2 new awnings on the south facade, as well as improvements to the parking lot and the landscaping. Unless there's any specific questions of me, I would rather turn the time over to Bob and Dominic Hansen. To nothing else, thank you, and also talk about their project. as we discussed during the committee of the whole meeting, it's obviously a very strategically located piece of property on the South River Street, which is one of our gateways into town, and it is our inaugural grant award under the Gateway Improvement Program. So with that said, Bob and Dominic, if you'd like to come up.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, council and staff, for making the process really smooth. I hope that there's plenty of other businesses that take advantage of this grant. It really was fairly simple, and it will be put to good use. I'd like to turn it over to here Dominic, who put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this project last year, probably the tears from being his father, but, that's how it goes sometimes.
Hi there. He asked me to say just a couple words about how the project went, how everything turned out. For those of you who might not know, been around since 1959, or so they tell me. Really, we've gone through a lot of changes at Funway throughout the years. It's really been a great place to grow up. Growing up right here in Batavia, another Batavia High School alum. Great to stay in this community and really enjoy my time here in Batavia so far. So, biggest thing with this new project, we hit our goal opening on May 1st for the summer. We were really proud to be able to do that with the help of the city. A lot of sweat and tears from him as well, even though he might not admit to that. Both go-kart tracks, we've got 2 new go-kart tracks, or 1 new go-kart track, and 1 old one that is still there. 2 new go-karts on that new track, as well as 1 new set of go-karts on our old track. That has really opened up our ability to have more drivers on these go-karts. We facilitate drivers as young as 7 years old, so they might not be able to drive on these roads, but they can come down by us and drive on our tracks, which has really been great. Our new track as well, with faster karts for our 13 and up, as well as much faster karts for our 16 and older crowd that you do have to wear helmets for, that are a good time. So you guys come check those out if you haven't yet. The miniature golf course that we just updated as well. I spent a lot of days shoveling that mini golf course, so please go enjoy that at some point. Turned out really great. We're really proud of how it looks. Everything turned out really nicely. We've gotten great review, as well as we've opened up that mini golf course to be ADA accessible, so we're able to introduce new people, and everybody can really get out there and at least enjoy some of that course. So we've spoken with many people. Our overall goal with this expansion was to really become a regional center, and we've had many more guests from an hour plus driving out to Funway, which is just great to see. People that may have not come to Batavia before, able to come down, enjoy Funway, and see the facilities that the city of Batavia has to offer. So we're really proud of that, and we hope that that'll just keep rolling as we go into our next year. More people will come to Batavia, enjoy Funway, and enjoy what the city of Batavia has to offer. So thank you. If you have any questions for me as well.
Any questions? I just want to share an observation or an experience I had over the weekend. I was down here on Sunday afternoon, and I came out of the building, and a car pulls up, and this young family rolls down the window and says to me, "We live in Rockford, and we came down here to go to Funway, and we can't seem to find where Funway is." And so I say, well, it's right across the bridge, and turn right and go down about 1.5 miles, and you'll run right into it there. And they said, well, we've just heard so much about this in Rockford, about what a great place this is and all the varied activities, that we just thought we'd take a Sunday ride and come down here and see it. And so I adhere to totally what you said about making this a regional location, because I can testify, I had one here on Sunday that was down here from Rockford, and they wanted to find Funway. And so our guys are setting yourself up, I think, for high expectations, which you both are doing a great job of answering. And so Batavia is extremely proud to have Funway in our community and be such a vital part of what we're all about, and the reputation, the good reputation you have that spread so well throughout northern Illinois, I think speaks wonders for the great job you're doing. So thank you very much.
Thanks. We'll have to send one of our animal mascots downtown to do some sign twirling.
Okay. Moving into item 12, which is resolution 19-0.
We need a motion. And
I'm sorry. We got a motion. Clerk, call the roll.
We don't have a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 19-090-R, awarding a grant under the Gateway Improvement Program for Funway.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Knopp, second by Alderman Savati, for the approval of Resolution 19-09R, the Gateway Grant to Funway. Any discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Knapp.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Molay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck. Aye.
Motion's approved, 12 yes, no no's, 2 absent.
Thank you.
Okay, now moving to 12, Resolution 19-096-R, permit for special events, River Street Road closures. Who's got this one?
I can take that,
Alderman
Your
Wolf?
Honor, since it came from Committee of the Whole, or didn't come from the Committee of the Whole last week. We had discussed this at our last committee meeting, that we wanted to go for a longer period of time to have the street closed on River Street for other events. This is just the first step in that for the city requesting from IDOT the closure of River Street on Fridays and Saturdays through the rest of the fall. I think I'm okay with voting for this as it is. I still think we need to have an actual agenda of what's going to happen on the street before we allow it to actually be closed. Just because we have a permit from IDOT to close it doesn't mean we have to close it every weekend if they don't have something happening. Because I think there's still some unanswered questions that we have to have answered before we have it closed for that long of a period. Anybody else want to chime in?
Or you want to make some comments?
Yeah, it might just be an appropriate time for me to say that staff met internally this morning, and then in the afternoon, we actually met with representatives from Batavia Main Street as well, to kind of get a clearer picture of what type of programming that they would have in mind, and then just to try to understand what the details of this would be. From our discussion, the intent would be to close the street sometime in the afternoon on a Friday, and that it would go through Saturday at about 3 p.m. And the intent on Fridays is to have live music, as well as a seating area where people could enjoy food that perhaps they had purchased at one of the local eateries, but there wouldn't be an outside alcohol service during those weekends. Also, we talked about a time period for it, and we thought that, you know, if winter holds off a while and there's the opportunity to do a fun winter event there as well, that maybe we would put our permit in through the end of this year. And if things go well, then we can maximize the number of times that we can have programming there. So I just thought I'd share that additional information and answer any questions that you might have about it.
Alderman O'Brien?
Well, I wasn't at the last meeting. I just had a lot of work at work, but put a lot of time in. But anyway, you know, I was a part of getting this project taken care of on River Street. It took a lot of effort. I think you'll attest to that, Mayor. And a lot of effort went into it. And I think this is just the next step in a progression on River Street. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to help Main Street, and this is going to help the city of Batavia, and it's going to help our revenue stream. Mm-hmm. And I think this is an important step. So I was really happy to hear that everyone voted affirmatively for that. Mm-hmm. And I think we should keep moving forward with whatever comes up on River Street. You know, it's won a number of national awards, and it's, as I said earlier, it was in a magazine, a Polish magazine, so it's even gone international, and it's in Europe. It's been recognized in Europe, and I think we've done a good job in funding this project and bringing it to fruition. And again, I'll say it again, my wish, while I might not be on the council in the future, is that the future councils continue to do very similar projects. Mm-hmm. Because I think it's the way of the future to bring in communities together. Yeah. And so I thank everyone for the support of that, and I think we should keep it moving forward. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Alderman Salvati?
I just have a comment. I'm glad we were able to kind of make some headway with this, and I know that there was some give and take, you know, with just a Friday closure, which is fantastic. The no alcohol in there, that's fine. What I think this really does is the concept is something that we don't have around here. Geneva doesn't have it. North Dakota doesn't have it. and it really makes Batavia a destination for that downtown area, not just one place, but for everywhere down there. And that's exciting. And I think this is a great first step to do that, and hopefully IDOT jumps on board with it.
Other comments or questions?
I have one more with what Laura just said about trying to go till the end of the year. What's in the resolution is September through the end of October. The 13th, 14th weekend in September through the October 25th, 26th.
Yeah.
At the end of, that's what's in the resolution. So if there's any other dates beyond that IDOT might approve, then we would have to approve those later.
Right, so that request came at this afternoon's meeting at
Okay.
Yeah.
3:30. So
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We have to have another one to go from October further.
We'll do the same resolution. We'll just change the dates in it before the mayor signs it. This way you
Yeah, we
guys
can
have an
just change the
understanding of what
date.
you're approving.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Real simple.
We just moved to amend it.
Right.
Yeah, we just amend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want us to amend it through
Yes,
the end of the
please.
year?
Yes, please.
Then my motion will be to approve Resolution 19-96R to seek a permit from IDOT to close River Street, local road within a state signalized intersection for the dates and times specified below from the weekend of September 13th, 14th through the end of the year.
Second.
Moved by Wolf, second by Savati for the approval of the resolution that ends through the end of the year. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Millet.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosato.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Knopf.
Motion's approved, 12 yes, no nos, 2 absent. Okay, moving then to item 13, which is Resolution 19-097-R, agreement between City of Batavia and Fraternal Order Police Patrol Division for the years 2019 through 2021. And Wendy Benerick, our HR Director, is here.
Good evening. I'm pleased to bring before you requesting approval for our collective bargaining agreement with the FOP patrol officers and the City of Batavia. It's for a 3-year agreement from beginning of this year, 2019, till the end of 2021. The details of the contract are outlined in the memo, all of the things that are listed. The highlights in regards to this is being a 3-year agreement, and wages are at $275 for each year for 2019, 2020, and 2021. I don't know if anyone has any additional questions.
Any questions? Would somebody care to make a motion then for the approval?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Malay, second by Alderman, somebody over here. Wolf?
I think that was Meitzler who made the motion.
That was me.
Was you? Okay, all those voices sound the same on my
You need to raise your hand.
left ear here. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Meitzler.
Aye.
Millet.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosato.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Knopf.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Motion is approved by a vote of 12 yes, no nos, 2 absent.
Thank you.
Okay, 14, the Administrator's Report. Laura?
Okay, we have got a lot of building activity that's going on in our community right now, whether it is commercial projects, new projects, as well as expansions and remodels. But we also have industrial projects of a lot of spec buildings that we see going up around town, as well as residential projects. So I'll update you on a few of those. The Raising Cane's project has been of interest to some on social media this past week. So I drove out there myself to see them working on that project diligently every day. And also our community development department has been out there 3 times in the last week doing inspections and working on the installation of the infrastructure out there. That project is rolling forward full speed ahead.
They haven't left.
Turns out, no.
Okay.
Either that or they forgot to tell the construction crew to stop building the restaurant. But also, if you go online, you can see that they have the jobs for the restaurant posted. I think there was some concern because Batavia isn't listed as a coming restaurant in the future. Now, I don't know, maybe they have sort of a 90-day window on that, and their expected opening that they have given to us is December. So, yes.
Yeah, I just brought that up because obviously I saw that, and when people are throwing that out there with certainty, I would like to clarify those rumors, if it is a rumor. The thing that became concerning, I think, as we saw, was they were saying it was a coming soon, but then Westmont isn't on there, Glen Ellen isn't on there, and they're supposed to open this summer. So when all of those were no longer on as Illinois, I think it just raised a lot of questions for people.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with it? I'm not on social media.
Nothing too. I think that people took changes on their website to be a reflection of the fact that our restaurant is no longer going to get built and opened here in Batavia. But the construction is continuing.
Right. Well,
Nations report.
the development I'm doing in Westmont is building Raising Cane's, and they are.
How's that going, Mike?
And they are building it. So, and I know the superintendent for Batavia also.
Yes.
And he is trying to get it built, so.
Excellent.
And that's why it's helpful that people follow up and get the actual directions instead of, this is what's happening in all these other communities, and it's
Right.
not.
Well, and it was a good opportunity for us to point out the city maps, and I can mention that with several projects that we have going on right now. If you're interested in seeing what type of development is going on in the city of Batavia, at the bottom of the homepage, there's a link to the city maps, and there, one of those is development. And another one of those are all of the different construction projects that are going on around town. So good opportunity to check out all of the many things that are going on. Some of the others that I wanted to mention were the Prairie Commons has opened their first model buildings. That's the one off Kirk and Wind Energy Pass. And they're continuing construction of several buildings in their phase 1. The other residential project that we have going on is the Winding Creek subdivision behind the former Sam's Club. We're continuing to work with them on some utility and grading issues on that project, but they're interested in moving forward as soon as they can to get that built. So those will be two fantastic new residential projects in our town. I also wanted to mention the Randall 15 Theater. Some people noticed that they were closed for about a week, and a week ago Thursday we had a pretty significant power outage on Randall Road that emanated from some problems within the theater, and we were able to re-energize everyone else that day, but the theater continued to be closed because of electrical problems that existed in their building. And they now have a generator on site, and they have reopened. But I'd just like to mention, this is probably a business that could really use people's help right now. The week before school starts is their #1 movie going week of the year, and they missed it. So if there's a movie out there that you're interested in seeing, really hope that residents will patronize the Randall 15 theaters. It's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks before they're able to get the parts that they need to really put everything back together the way that it needs to be. But they're up and running now.
Just make a quick comment also to the news source that is Facebook. There is no collusion to shut down Randall 15.
Between who and...
I think the Russians. I
Oh, the
don't know.
Russians.
You know that's the quote on Facebook.
Batavia loves its movie theater. We really, we spent an incredible amount of time between the Community Development Department, the Public Works Department, and the Fire Departments, assisting them with this issue. We really made it a priority to try to help them identify specifically what the issue was, and then to find a temporary fix so that they could get back.
So what was the problem, the electrical problem?
It was the lack of Gary's powering up his microphone, so I don't have to just talk like a parrot. He actually knows what's
They
going
actually
on.
had a fault in their wiring between their main panel and the metering pan. So their wiring faulted, and because they didn't have a main disconnect, which would have cut the circuit, that fault basically traveled out into our system. So we've got them isolated now, and they're rebuilding their system.
But I guess that begs the question, though, why didn't they have a main disconnect?
I defer to our building department, but I understand that from that vintage of the NEC code, they weren't required to have a main
Okay.
disconnect.
Only because, I mean, you know, electrical fire is a very dangerous thing.
Exactly.
And if you have a crowded
one
movie
in now,
theater.
but I don't believe they were required when they built that facility to have them.
Okay. But we're bringing it all up to code.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You know, on that subject, I would just add that they called me personally last week when this all happened, and the district manager was apologizing 16 different ways about why it happened, and was very reticent in his support for Batavia and how good specifically the Public Works and the Fire Department had been with them. And I will tell you that we've had some discussions with those folks rather recently. They've got some ideas to kind of expand what they're doing out there, and I guess they're thinking about going into the restaurant business as part of their offering, but they have to change some seats around and put some seats in and have drop-off trays in the back, and so I think they've got some pretty broad ideas of adding some new features out there that, because they like the market here, they say this is a very good market for movies and the location is very good for them, so I don't see them going anyplace, but they're very pleased to be in Batavia from everything they're telling me.
And then also, just to let you know, staff is working on several items that relate to our zoning code and municipal code text amendments. These include recreational cannabis, which will be on the agenda for the committee of the whole meeting that is on August 27th, next Tuesday. Also, last week, we talked about beekeeping and parking lot islands and alternative performance standards on the August 13th COW meeting, and we're now reviewing various amendments, both to facilitate the beekeeping, and then we have reached out to the Batavia Environmental Commission for comments on the landscaping islands, and then these items will be scheduled for a plan commission for text amendments. We also talked about changes to the municipal code required to allow additional tattoo establishments, and just so you know, we're awaiting that business owner to provide to us an application for the conditional use. So, and then we'll put the conditional use and the text amendment together in the Plan Commission, Committee of the Whole, and City Council process, so that we'll kind of expedite that matter. Public Works has a lot going on as well. It's the annual roadway resurfacing program right now. Crews are currently removing and replacing damaged sections of curb and sidewalk along the roadways that need to be resurfaced. And then work is winding down in Ward 1 for those drainage improvements, and final roadway surface patching and punch list items are what remains at this point. The contractor is working on the Mahoney Creek stabilization projects and is on schedule to complete those this fall. And work is now underway in the Area 3 sewer separation project. Local roadway closures will continue into the late fall, and due to the deep excavations that are necessary in that area. Also wanted to point out a piece of legislation that the governor signed into law last week that it allows needle exchange programs to possess and distribute needles. And we have also received from the Kane County State's Attorney a letter provided to Point, informing them that the new law has passed, and therefore she is able to conduct her needle exchange program without fear of prosecution from the Kane County State's Attorney. I thought everybody would like to hear that news. That was a big victory for her. And that's it, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Questions?
Thank you.
Okay, committee reports, community development. Who's the vice chairman of that one?
Chairman.
Set up for real. There's nothing for tomorrow or next week at this time.
All right, government services, Alderman Salvati, do you have any?
Well, I'll take it, sure. Let's see, tomorrow we're going to talk about the adopting the City of Batavia logo design again. I think, next week, we're talking about, should we allow the recreational cannabis dispensaries, and as well as, we're talking about the closure for River Street as well.
Okay. Public safety?
Public utilities? Public utilities.
I'm sorry.
Tomorrow night, Gary's going to have a discussion on the infrastructure maintenance costs, ongoing costs, and a discussion on the Carriage Crest Stormwater Recharge Basin engineering. And August 27th, next Tuesday, we will be talking about authorizing a representative to sign loan documents. That'll be Resolution 19-095-R. And then we'll be also authorizing the City of Batavia, Canada DuPage counties to issue water revenue bonds in aggregate principal amounts not to exceed $1 million. And that should do it.
City services?
Nothing on the agendas, but just a reminder to watch the city website so we get brush out on the right weeks. And then also make sure that the drains stay open. I've seen a lot of stuff in a lot of drains, city drains lately, so if you get a chance and you're out cleaning up the front yard, clean those out too.
Okay. 16, other business. Do we have any other business?
Your Honor.
Alderman Wolf.
Just a reminder, Friday night is the corn boil. Start off the fall athletic season out at the high school. Everybody get out there and then get ready for the first football game in another week on Saturday the 31st.
Okay.
An afternoon game?
Not sure yet. I still have not seen a printed schedule with the date or with the time on it, but it will be on Saturday.
Okay, under 17, the mayor's report, I just have a couple of informational things. First of all, I was contacted this afternoon, and this always starts about this time of year, the annual Christmas toy drive, which we do collecting toys. Last year, we gave toys to 713 kids. It was all money raised and toys donated and toys purchased and whatever. On November 23rd this year, they're going to try to raise some money for themselves, so they're going to have a comedy night down at the Moose Lodge, and Dottie Fletcher, who is a member of the Toy Drive Committee, has a lot of contacts in the entertainment world, and she has indicated that she's got a couple of she doesn't want me to say yet who, but she's got some fairly well-known comedian folks that are going to come in and do a comedy show, and it's going to be down at the Moose Lodge. And they've donated all the facilities and the whole bit, so hopefully the bar will be theirs to make money off of and everything else. So they're looking forward to that, and it should be an interesting evening. But that's going to be the evening of November 23rd. The other thing I wanted to share with you, I was over this morning bright and early to a meeting in Oak Brook with Mayor's Caucus. Tomorrow I got to go get on the train and go to Chicago with the CMAP Council of Mayors, and Wednesday, I've got a meeting up in Arlington Heights with the PACE bus people. And there seems to be a reoccurring theme as I go to these regional meetings. And one of them, I guess from Batavia's perspective, is very good. And I think I've shared this with you before, but this seems to be drawing itself more and more in kind of open discussion, is the fact that there are a lot of cities in our immediate area that aren't doing very good. That they're financially, their revenues are falling, they're having to lay people off, new development is coming, old development is shutting their doors. The argument being that there's no buying power in the neighborhoods, nobody's got any money to spend. And some of these places are really near almost expulsion of themselves as a city. They're that financially insecure that they don't know how they're going to keep going. So we got that going. And on the other side of the coin, there's about 10 or 12 pockets in the Chicagoland region where things are pretty good. And one of those pockets is the Tri-Cities, Batavia, Geneva, and St. Charles. And so I go in there and I have people say, gee, how do you have 423 new houses being built in your town? We're lucky to get an old one remodeled, or things of that nature. And then, people will say, gee, how do you get new businesses opening in your downtown? And right now we've got 3. And so I'm thinking, well, I come away from those meetings thanking my lucky stars I am where I am, because this is not a common thread out there throughout the region. And I will tell you the other thing that's out there is that there is a lot of question in a lot of people's minds as to how financially viable or reliable the federal and state government's finances are. And people tell you, well, go get a grant or write a grant for this or that. There's a lot of question as to whether there's any ability to fund many grants out here, any place. Despite what, and especially I suppose we may find ourselves somewhat at a disadvantage because we're on the prosperity side of the line here, and we're not in the austerity line where things are getting real rough as far as the city even staying in business. So we are going into some challenging times at the state and federal level here, I think, in the very near future. And there's going to be a lot of conversation about what it is that you can and you cannot do, and who's got all these abilities to raise money. And I think there'll be more said on this as we go forward, but there is some problematic situations outside our borders, but they're out there, and they may very well reach in and impact us as far as if we think we're going to be lucky enough to attract some new grants or whatever have you. The stories I hear about how badly financed the state of Illinois is and how their backlog of bills is overwhelming. And if you send them a bill, you wait many months now to get paid because they don't have the revenue coming in to pay the bills. Stuff like that's very problematic. And so I'm not sure where all this is going, but we shall see what we shall see. But I'm just tuning you up to let you know that there's going to be high time for some discussions about, well, if we're going to do whatever we're going to do, we need to probably think financially we're going to do it ourselves and not count on the old days of writing a grant and getting the state or federal government to come in and subsidize what it is you're trying to do. So, Alderman O'Brien?
May I just say something, Mr. Mayor? Just kudos to you, to what you just said. For the years that we've been in Batavia, for 28 years, is how hard you work to keep Randall Road generating tax revenue and sales tax revenue, and how hard you worked throughout the years to keep our property taxes down, which afforded residents some discretionary spending power. And so, I mean, it took a lot of hard work, as you say, but, kudos to you.
Well, not kudos to me, but on that subject, I would just want to make note that we've got some stuff happening, where the Raising Cane is being built. There's 5 more lots out there on that property, and there's already a road built into how to access those other lots. And we've had some people in here asking questions about building stuff on some of those lots. So I'm thinking we're going to see some activity there. And then we've had I guess I'm not at liberty to say much about it yet, but we've had some pretty strong discussions with some folks that are looking at the Sam's Club property, and to do that. That's kind of an interesting exercise to go through, because Walmart, who owns Sam's Club, has a selling policy. When they're selling a piece of property, they want to know what it is you're going to do on this piece of property and what impacts it may have on the surrounding neighborhoods. In other words, you got a lot of Sam's Clubs in the United States, abandoned Sam's Clubs, sitting next to ongoing Walmarts. And so they're very cautious about what they're going to be doing, what they may allow to happen on properties right next door to them. So that's an issue. The development that is talking to us, I think, could be quite compatible, and it would generate some money. And the other thing about that Walmart site out there that most people are unaware of is that if you go out there and look at it and you go into Portillo's and you come out of the parking lot, there's a great big retention pond right next to it, right on the north side of the Sam's Club building. And the rest of that story is that that's a temporary retention pond that was built there when the Sam's Club was first put in. And then a subsequent deal was made where there was a donation of about 108 acres out there behind it to the west, by all the various people who were developing out there. So we have one of the largest water detention areas in the region right behind it out there. So quite honestly, we don't need that retention pond there by the north end of Sam's Club. So if somebody wanted to come in and do another type of retail development on that retention pond, it could easily be accommodated. And so we've got some other folks talking to us about changing some of the uses in some of the buildings out there, and we'll see where all that goes forward. So there's a lot of, in a time when there's kind of slow commercial growth, we do have some going on here, and we have some interesting people on the doorstep talking to us. So I'm optimistic that we will have something more for people to talk about on social media here pretty quick.
Please, no.
No further business. Somebody care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Salvati, second by Alderman Knopp to adjourn. Clerk, take a voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
You should. Why not? You're contrarian. You can do that. Our budget.